It's been about 2 years since I detransitioned, really February of 2023. And well, yes, in a lot of ways, it's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. But in other ways, it's been very rewarding for me personally. But the whole journey has involved physical pain, mental anguish, mental happiness, and well, adjusting to a new life again. And I'm going to get into this in this video because I have been asked so many times, now that it is about 2 years, how are things going and what do you think about the state of things today? So let me start by saying I never really weigh in on trans topics. Number one, I don't feel qualified to discuss it. Number two, I've never really been what you call an advocate personality for picking up banners or signs or lobbying for one side or the other, because to me, that whole subject of being trans or not trans, at the end of the day, it's an intensely personal thing. And many of us fight our own angels and demons within our minds. And well, we live in an age where social media wants to have a huge influence on the way we think about things, one way or the other. So not only do we have internal turmoil and conflict, but we're also subjected to external forces that buffet us back and forth. This is wrong, this is right. Now we're in the middle of a legal mixer that's scrambling everything around, and it's making some people uneasy, some people happy. It's creating political winners and losers, and in the midst of all that, we're supposed to find our way forward and make ourselves happy in life. I think one of the reasons that my detransition has been successful, and I define sex as being happy, success as being happy. Well, I guess that's a Freudian slip, right? I define success as being happy, being comfortable with myself, being able to sleep comfortably at night, and just feeling like my mind is in synchronization with, really with the rest of my life. And that has really been the best part. But it's taken an immense amount of, I don't want to call it tunnel vision, because to be honest, I've gotten a lot of I don't like to use the word hate, but a lot of criticism from the generalized trans community, those people that were friends in the trans community of mine, by and large, are still friends of mine. But in a general way, people always feel it's their given right to comment and weigh in on stuff. And in a way, I agree with them, because if you put yourself out in public, people are allowed to push back and have commentary. But once again, it has to be a very internal thing within your mind. And as I said, a lot of people have asked me why you were one of the happiest trans women that I know. Life was good. You were having a blast. But there was always that something in the back of my head that wondered at one time if something else was kind of in control of me and influencing me. And finally, in January of 2023, I came to the conclusion that, you know what, I kind of liked myself the way I was before, and I felt pretty good about that. And I can't quite explain what happened otherwise, but I have a feeling if I can get back to what I was, I'm going to be a lot happier in life. I'm going to be more in synchronization with some of my with my upbringing, things like my faith. It's going to be a lot better for me going forward, the balance of my life. And that's why I think it's been such a successful transition for me. Even after living 11 years as, well, visually a different kind of person, I think I came out the other side in a positive way. One of the big factors that alarmed me that I've talked about for the last 3 years is it went from being a relatively rare phenomena, being transgender, to one that I saw being in a large part driven by social media, particularly with the introduction of TikTok and a lot of changes in the psychology world, in the psychiatry world, and different ways of viewing gender dysphoria and things like that. And all of a sudden, it seemed to be an upsweep of interest in it. And then during the pandemic, it absolutely positively just imploded. I guess people had more time on their hands. And I was really worried about that. I was really, really worried that a lot of the traditional guardrails, a lot of the traditional border controls of keeping people from making decisions that might negatively impact their lives, we're losing that sort of control element of making sure that we're going slow and trying it out, dressing first, and then seeing how you adjust to that. There started to be websites that would put information up if you wanted to get hormones immediately that day. This site, run by a trans advocate, would pinpoint to places in the nation where you could go in and, get a prescription right away. And I thought to myself, ay caramba, man, this is like this is like playing Russian roulette with a loaded weapon, because, well, your results might vary. You know what I'm saying? With that lack of real care that used to be such a hallmark up until about 2018, 2019, where standards started to slip. Numbers got huge, and, well, people were making command decisions that could adversely affect the rest of their lives, particularly if they're younger. Okay, I was an older bird when I got into it, and I'm still alive, knock on wood, right? I'm happy with my life. But when I think of like an 18 or 20-year-old that's going to have, a female to male that's going to have her double mastectomy, and I wonder if they're going to feel if what would be he now is going to feel the same way in 5 years or so. The community's great at taking surveys, and after someone transitions, well, how are things going, a year after or whatever. But life is measured in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years. And I can tell you, the way I thought at 14 is a hell of a lot different than the way I felt at 21, which was a hell of a lot different than I felt at 30, which is a hell of a lot different than I felt at 52, right? Which is a heck of a lot different than how I feel at my current golden age. And I'm just saying, once these decisions are made, once you're a female to male and you begin to take testosterone and you grow beard hair, and, it's a one-way switch, right? And if you find out later that you've made a mistake, it's very difficult to get the toothpaste back in the tube. So I guess that's what frightened me the most. It almost seemed like a stampede to go to declare yourself as trans, and then the whole political wind got behind it. And I thought to myself, this is so different than back in 2000, 2010, 2011. So I'm very happy about the way that things turned out for me, and I'm very happy that I've been able to keep strong within myself. And let me tell you, I've had some down moments and some flashbacks and things like that. And I've had some sad moments, that is for sure. But I've had a lot of very happy moments too. And the really great thing about it is that the people that were my friends, no matter what their gender inclination or whatever is, or trans, not trans, by and large, those same people are around in my life, which kind of confirms to me, yeah, okay, it's not so much the packaging, it was you that's the thing that we like to be around. And I mean, it's been tough. You know, I don't always share all the emotional highs and lows, because I think my role on YouTube is not to come in here and emotionally do a dump on people and just let loose, as so many people do, to share their to share their struggles and everything else. You know, we kind of live in a world where we're getting sort of struggle overdosed here. And I thought, you know, coming on and being happy and being a positive person is really what people want to, is what real people really want to enjoy. Yeah, I'd like to say I haven't endured a lot of criticism, you know, and maybe not as much as I thought, but, you know, there's some people that view you a traitor, and there's some people that traitor, and some people view you as being heroic. I guess it depends on which side that your bread is buttered on. But one thing I have been careful of, right, is the recognition that this is an intensely private thing. And once we start wrapping this in the cocoon or the web of public opinions and publicity and what's going on in the news and the political atmosphere and the toing and froing, the danger is we get more concerned about the feelings of other people and their wishes to use you as a battering ram or as a talking point for agendas. And that's not the key to great mental health, I can tell you. The key to great mental health is living within yourself and living within your own mind with decent values, decent ethics, and decent morals. And if you reach outside of yourself and you think to yourself, and you start adopting the way other people think that you should think, and then you get that attention from that, and then you get into advocacy, and then you build a whole life on that. And it becomes very hard for you to dismantle that because of pride, ego, and things like that. So best not to let that develop in the first place. So am I happy? You bet I'm happy, right? Life is good for me, and that's the best thing that I can say now. So there it is, my 2-year update, and in so many ways, I'm so blessed to have a YouTube channel, and some people have said you should take down your old videos, and other people, you should put all your videos up. You know, I took down 10 million views of something like 1,200 videos, but I've left the core of the whole thread through the channel so people can see a journey that is taking place and see that, yes, happiness can result as a part of that journey just as much as any journey in the opposite direction of being transgendered can be. I don't want to say it to give people hope. I just want it. This is my life. I joined YouTube in January of 2013, and the YouTube moniker at that time was Share Your Life. And that is exactly something that I've done going into the 13th year on YouTube. So why should I change that now, right? This is and has been my life. Well, if you've enjoyed this, you'll enjoy the rest of my journey, I think, plus a lot of back videos, craziness, lunacy will continue into the future. And I would love you to be a part of it. So, yes, your comments and questions are welcome down below. Just be nice, okay? I try to be a nice person, right? You can leave your comments down below, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications. And thumbs up are very interested. As somebody said to me, Roosevelt, I'm Rosie, you sure as hell have had an interesting life. And yes, I have. And I think the best is yet to come, and I would love you to be a part of it. Thanks for watching, everybody.